Hey, it's Rod Bergeron here with you again today. And I'm in Peters Woods, and I'm continuing my series on field studies here in Peters Woods because I'm going to do a much larger, much focused piece. But I'm trying to get my thoughts onto the page to figure out what it is that focused piece is going to be. And that's what field studies are all about. Field studies are about coming out here, looking at a specific area and trying to figure out for yourself what it is that interests you and how it is you're going to get it on the page. But one of the things I want to talk about today is focus, because many of you knuckleheads are trying to take too much stuff and put it onto the page. All right, so you got to focus, and you have to really think about what is it that's important to me in this particular drawing. So behind me here is this fallen couple of trees across this riverbed. Let's look at why this isn't a good subject for one single drawing. All right. So it's a little wet, and it's a little slippery out here today, I'll tell you that. So if you see over here on this side where the tree has broken off, so that's the base of the tree. And then there's another base of this other tree on the other side that you can't see. So lots of my students would say, well, this is a really cool subject, how that thing has fallen across there. My response is going to be, it's too much to draw. It's too big of a drawing. It would take too long. It's too complex. All of the elements of it are super, super hard to get onto the page. So when I say focus, I mean your focus can't be, I'm going to draw all the trees in the woods, and it can't be, I'm going to draw these 20 trees that are all tangled up together and are going across the dried riverbank. You got to get more focused than that. You have to get more contained. All right. So let's go down here and we'll have another look at this from a slightly different angle and see what we get. So I seriously have only walked about 10 feet and set up my camera down. I'm at the bottom of the riverbed, and I'm looking at where these two trees meet on the far side. This is a much easier thing to get on the page. And if you notice the way that I have it set up right now, this is just dead center right in the middle of the page. Well, you probably wouldn't do that, right? You're probably going to put that down to 1/3. And so now where this is on the bottom 1/3, and it's on the left 1/3. All right. So this is a focal point. This is a focal point, and this is a focal point. So because of that, you want to organize your page so that that's where this is. All right, I'm going to hike back and get my stuff, and we'll start doing some field studies of this and see what we get. All right, so drop my pen. Coffee. When you come out into the great wide open, you need to bring things that are going to make it so that you're more comfortable. Put my garbage in my pocket. For me, one of the things that make me more comfortable is candy. And the energy is really good too. When you come outside here in the especially in the fall or in the winter, you need to have some quick energy snacks around with you. I don't ever normally eat candy. Haha. It's like one of the 4 food groups for me. So anyways, eat your candy and drink your coffee. And all right, now you're ready to find your pen off the floor. So this is a tin that I have some pencil crayons in. I'm going to set that down. Let's have a look. If we're going to have a look at this tree, where this tree has broken off and come down this little bit of a cliff how is it we're going to put this on the page? Better yet, the better question is, how much of this are we going to put on the page? So in this video, I really want you to think about focusing, right? I'm telling you, it's something I talk about I've brought out hundreds of people into the wilderness to do in plein air and to do studies. And the thing that gets me all the time is that everybody is always trying to do the entire wide world. And I don't do it. Sorry, I'm losing my voice a little bit. I don't do it, and I certainly don't want you to do it. I want you to think about this tree is coming across the page like this, and there's another tree on top of it. So before I even start drawing, I'm thinking about where is it I'm going to put that on the page. How much of this do I want to be on the page? I want there to be a lot of open area down here, because that's how I'm going to show that this tree is hanging across the river. All right, so let's start off with, there's a very jagged part up here at the top, and it's sort of like this, and we can make this more jagged later if we want, but for right now that's all I'm going to do about it. And then there's an open area of this tree, so there's actually an area that this piece came out of on that tree. There's a couple of more broken pieces that come back across like this. This is a silver birch, I believe. Then there's some parts of the roots that are actually coming down like this. And there's some more further in here that are very, very dark. Not that they're dark, they're just in a lot of shadow. So I'm going to do that. This open area right here is actually very dark in here, so I'm going to start off by putting some hatching in here to indicate that right off the bat. There's also a part of this tree which comes down like this. Alright, this comes across like this for a ways, and then there's a branch from the other tree that comes across this. Okay, but I'm not going to do that right now. I'm going to figure out, so I'm going to put this across like this. Now, when we look at that silver birch, we know it's rounded because we know what trees look like. But on the bottom here, you'll see that there's actually lines that are curving up in the bark. So I would suggest to you that that's the best way to make this look like a curved tree. Just make these curved a little bit. Just like that. And you've already started to build up the idea that this is a curved object. Just in those few strokes like that. Alright, then down here, these are actually curved objects, but these are actually curving down this way. So these are looking like they're curved going down to the ground. Right, out from behind here, there's another tree, and it's back a little bit. And it curves up like this, and then I'm looking on the other side to see where would that curve up from, and it curves straight up like that. It also does this. Right, and then down here there's a bit of a hole. If you watched a previous video, you would have seen me doing some hatching and some cross hatching to make things look very, very dark. It's always a great way to make things look dark by putting in some hatching and some cross hatching. In here, this is also very dark, but here, instead of doing traditional hatching, I'm going to put the lines very closely together. Then the ones down in the bottom, I'm going to cross hatch just across that to make that look dark. Right in behind this thing is a little tree, and I'm going to include that. And it does this, and this, and this, and this. And most of the leaves actually are still on this. It's a little ash tree. And they're very green still, these leaves on this thing. And they don't have to all touch the branch, of course. This is a field study, so we're not trying to make this into a finished work of art. If it becomes a finished work of art, cool, but I don't have any illusions for my work. This is some broken pieces here, and this is very dark across here. And then there's quite a few leaves, and I'm going to indicate those leaves by just some irregular circles across there. All right. Okay. Candy break. Get yourself out some candy. Don't leave your garbage on the ground. I'm going to put in some stippling here because there's some moss. Quite a bit of moss. Stippling is a really good way to quickly indicate a different kind of a texture somehow. Maybe it's moss, maybe it's pebbles, maybe it's some kind of an irregularity in a piece of skin on an animal or a nose of an animal. This down here also has lots of moss on it, so I'm going to put in piles of them. And once you get used to stippling, and once you figure out that it's just sort of a sewing machine motion, just up and down, very quickly. Okay? Don't spend a whole lot of time on that. I'm going to put some more stippling in here because there's some moss in around here. Something like that. Okay, there's a large stick that actually is laying across this and comes up right parallel to this tree. And I'm going to put that in because I think it adds some visual interest. And it's not a live stick. It does have some small pieces coming off of it, but it's not a living stick, so probably not going to do too much more than that to this. Alright. More candy. I said before that the other tree has a branch that sort of comes behind this one. I'm going to continue this line now, right along like that, and then I'm going to continue this line. I'm actually editing out one of those branches that are there because I can't see it all. I'm going to make these lines slightly lighter because they're receding into the background. And this actually has some long linear lines on it from where that branch is broken off. So I'm going to do that just to indicate where those things actually come onto this. And this is all very rough bark on this. This is an oak. Some very rough bark, so I'm going to use some very jagged, quick hatching, one over top of the other like that, very quickly, to indicate the roughness. candy. And then this is very dark here. Really, that white space, it looks like a branch going back across there like that. I'm going to put some curved hatching on this to indicate that that is in fact a tree. I'm going to do the same across here. That. And I'm going to continue this sort of curved hatching for this along here. There's also a long branch that comes down like this, and I'm going to hatch some of that in. It's very dark on, very dark underneath here. I would also put in some more like that, some more like that. Okay. Okay, so I think that's all that I'm going to do to this one. So remember, I want you to really think about when you come out here, when you go outside to work, focusing in on a specific area, and when you think that you got it small enough, make it smaller, and when you think you got it small enough, make it smaller, and just keep making it smaller and smaller until you get to an area that is quite contained and easy to do in one quick little drawing that doesn't take you a whole lot of time. So focus, 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 focus. I'm going to say that a million times. You're going to hear me. You're going to get sick and tired of hearing me say that. And you're going to get sick and tired of hearing me say, eat some candy. But eat some candy. All right, so I thank you for watching. I really love to hear from you guys. So if you got a question or a comment, please leave it in the comment section below. All of the art supplies that I use when I'm out here are all in the description below. So if you click on any of those and follow those Amazon links out, I would really appreciate that. If you're currently a subscriber, I thank you very much for subscribing. And if you're not currently a subscriber, please consider subscribing to my channel. Thanks a lot for watching, and we'll see you again next time. Go have some fun with your art outside. Guess I forgot there's a whole bunch of leaves on this thing, so I'm going to keep putting those leaves on here. So there's some leaves and there's some moss. Say it, Rod. Yeah, that's not too bad. Alright, get out there and have some fun.